It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Where'd it go? I'm always dropping something. Always dropping something. Yes, it's one of those days. Today is affectionately known as Hump Day. It's Wednesday. And there was a story I talked about this morning on our sister station that kind of drove me crazy. Kind of made me think about the fact that once again, the city is trying to do something that doesn't make any sense. That once again, the city is trying to avoid paying for anything. And I don't understand it. So yesterday there was a story that came out that talked about the Mitchell Park horticulture domes and the uncertainty around it. So there seems to be this thing in Milwaukee that nobody wants to pay for anything, but everybody wants everything to be at a certain caliber, and everybody wants everything to be great. They just don't want to have to be the ones to pay for it. Everybody wants something from everybody else. It's sort of like poverty, right? Or low income. I'm looking at a website today for somebody running for office, and all they talk about is all the low income people and how they're trying to help low income, help overcome. Well, we've been trying to help overcome this for 50 years. Clearly, you're doing a poor job, and it's time for someone new. But you're supposed to be the new person, and you're messing it up. So, the Mitchell Park domes, I got some suggestions. Number one, they said fully replacing the Mitchell Park domes could cost between $67 and $91 million. Milwaukee County Parks presented other options, including demolition, there's an option where all three domes, of course, torn down. It costs like $5 million and they're done. Other options include repairing the existing domes where they badly need improvements to the glass, which would cost between $21 and $29 million. Who are the knuckleheads that were on the county board of supervisors that let it get this bad anyway? Another option would be to replace one dome and build a conservatory or other buildings in place of the other two domes. Estimated cost runs around $53 million. But Tarantino, that's Jim Tarantino, the deputy parks director, said the large price tag for all options, but told the committee that something needs to be done following decades of deferred maintenance on the 60-year-old structures. So we're near the south side of Milwaukee, right across the 27th Street Viaduct. You got a park there. We're trying to revitalize the city. Get with the mayor. The mayor says it's a park, I'm sure, and the park says, I don't know what the mayor says. I'm assuming people in city government say it's a park, so it's not their purview. And we got to be nice to the supervisors. And the supervisors don't want to spend the money. Have you heard of one? Bonds. Put it, right? Put it in that little place, in a little box. During that time, we vote for everybody else and make it a referendum to issue bonds. And issue bonds, and I know people are going to freak out when I say this, pay the $91 million and rebuild it the right way. Get a consortium in place with all of the universities in southeastern Wisconsin. Madison, Parkside, Carroll, Concordia, UWM, Carroll. Did I miss anybody? Marquette. All of them. It's horticulture. Plants. We've already got the Water Institute. Get my drift? Private business. Not private donations, but private business with space in the domes, in the surrounding buildings. Build up the restaurants. Build up the neighborhood. Build up the apartments. But if I said I was put it on 27th on the far south side, you would have no problem. Franklin would have no problem. Tulsa wouldn't have any problems. But when it comes to Milwaukee, oh, that's going to cost too much money. You just got how much money from the federal government for COVID and all these other trash things that we got, and you don't do anything with it? Build up something that people can bring families to. Or is it that it's in a Hispanic neighborhood? I don't know. The city and the county need to come together, issue bonds, and get that thing paid for. Because later in my top 5 of the 5, I'll talk about the Republicans who are trying to cut taxes so people would have more money, and the governor's playing politics. But then again, so are the Republicans. Meanwhile, who ends up still paying more? We do. The reality, this is a quote by Tarantino, is that because of the way we were maintaining it, this is the Mitchell Park horticulture domes, not providing capital investments, time and moisture is not on our side. The decay continues to occur, and every day we get closer to when that facility closes itself. The estimates were met with sticker shock for several supervisors on the committee, and during the meeting, discussions were held. This is from SpectrumNews1.com. My apologies for not saying that before. During the meeting, discussions were had regarding private fundraising campaigns. Why? 8th District Supervisor Tom Shea told Spectrum News he was concerned that the county would struggle to foot the bill for any option presented. How about bonds? Imagine that. Can the county issue bonds? Maybe in cahoots with the city? We'll have to see. There might be some fiscal things we have to look into. They said the only feasible option I saw for the dorms with the most expensive one, replacing the 3, and barring a donation from some extremely well-to-do philanthropist, I don't possibly see how we can move forward with it. Because you have a lack of vision. You have a lack of purpose. there are multiple things this city should be known for. One of them is sitting over there on 4th Street. The other one is sitting over there off of 175 called the baseball field. One of them could be the Calatrava, the art museum, but definitely the domes. That is something that's unique. You don't need a community input meeting at the domes to figure out what the heck to do with it. Be a leader, step up, figure out a way to fund it, and move forward. But for some reason, you just don't listen. You never listen anyway. You didn't listen about the 2%. You let the mayor skip around and skip taxpayers and let the city leadership vote, and now we have a 2%. Nothing in place or planned on how to help people figure out that 2%. It's just there. And now you want to build domes. And I say that's $1 billion win in about 10 years. You're talking all of the buildings, all of the restaurants, all of the places that could be built up around there simply because it's right on the other side of the viaduct. You can redesign the entire park out front. And if you've never been to the domes, well, at the time, they were gorgeous. Why doesn't any leadership here in the city or the county have forethought? There's never a plan. They always seem to deal with things when it gets at the end. They bump things down the road. They're elected officials. And when they mess up, well, it's on somebody else. That's why we need term limits. That's why we need to tell you anything that happens during this time, we get to blame you. But we don't do that. We're nice. Give everybody a break. For instance, the other day I had a conversation with a person in Milwaukee, very prominent. And I said, hey, why isn't the mayor doing anything? They replied, well, he only has 2 years. I'm like, aren't those the 2 years that you would really rock this to make it matter because you only have 2 years? Wouldn't you take those 2 years and hit a home run and make people go, we got to give him 4 more years? You're saying he only got 2 years, give him a break, and then put him back in for twice as long, and he didn't do anything in the 2 he was here. What would you expect without a plan? You have no plan. You have no forethought. You have no vision. We should just wait. Well, that's the same thing all the older politicians did. We don't have anything now. And in 4 years, we won't have anything then. So when it comes to city leadership, when it comes to county leadership, when it comes to building the domes, you need to pay. But I think you also, important things you need to do is wake up.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Coming with straight truth.
Because they're thriving off of the lack of knowledge. But it's a new day. And a lot of y'all don't understand that a lot of things that we understand to be true was socially engineered. Somebody sat back in a room and was like, hey, what if we get them to do this? You know what I mean? And they had a lot of money. All I'm saying is they want us to stay bots.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Hey, Truth fans, it's Dee Kemp, Vice President of Programs for Axe Housing. I am so excited to give you some information about how we can help you and your family reach the dream of owning your own home. At Axe Housing, we know you may be struggling to buy your own home due to financial strain, or maybe you don't even know how to get started on the path to home ownership. This is where Axe Housing can help. We will provide you with your own home buying coaching team who will help you with the entire home buying process from start to finish. That includes the home search, the loan process, and the big closing day on your dream home. Why rent when you can own? Here at Axe Housing, we help prepare families for successful home ownership. Stop paying rent and start building wealth. Reach out to our Axe Housing team today because we believe in you and we know home ownership can be within your reach. Visit us today at axehousing.org to get started. That's ACTShousing.org.
Truth Nation, join the Center for Leadership of African Women's Wellness on Wednesday, September 30th at the St. Francis Parish from 2 until 5 p.m. for their prestigious Wine, Women, and Wings Red Carpet Affair. The event will honor 10 outstanding women who have demonstrated exceptional leadership, commitment, and resilience, which profoundly impacts our community. The Red Carpet Affair will include food, drinks, jazz music, and a raffle. Tickets are $150 per person. Get yours today by visiting claw.org. That is CLAWW.org.
Making healthier food choices doesn't have to be hard or expensive. You can ensure your children and family get the nutrition they need by making every meal a My Plate meal. Choose healthy items like low-sodium vegetables, fruits canned in 100% juice, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy. Also, buying in-season produce from your local farmer's market, using food share at your local grocery store, or use of the mobile market are all easy ways to save money on food. Make every meal a My Plate meal to make you and your family healthier. Learn more about healthy eating and how you can support nutritious foods for families at www.hungertaskforce.org/myplate.
This is 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and I am Milwaukee. Truth in the Afternoon is a platform where you and I can share our love, our lives, and our journey together. That is why, as a fan, your perspective is key. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is for every you. So, I got it on some good word tonight that Marquette Volleyball Women's is playing UW-Madison Women's Volleyball at the Fiserv. So it's about to get, they still use the word crunk. Y'all don't know the word crunk, so, it's old. So that's going to be a crazy game. I just don't want riots to break out because y'all know how them Marquette students and them UW-Madison students get. Crybaby snowflakes start crying and rioting and getting emotional and tearing stuff up. They're not. They'll be at the Fiserv. It'll be enough police there. But no, in all seriousness, that's going to be a great game tonight. So if you get a chance, make sure you go check it out after I go off the air. Then you can go over there and check it out. All right. 833-212-10. Uh-oh. Got to get my computer. 17 is the number. There have been some pretty bizarre things going on in Milwaukee as it relates to some stories that are kind of, cold. We'll be talking about some stuff in the top 5 at 5, and they booed up. Anyway, 414-852 say, Dr. Ken, are you able to make recommendations to the city supervisors? Well, it would be the county supervisors, but I get what you're saying. what you say sounds good, perhaps they may consider. I would hope, because then, I don't know if companies can buy bonds, though. Can companies invest in municipal bonds? Well, they can just make donations to whatever nonprofit entity that is working with the domes. I'm sure there's a Friends of the Domes or some nonprofit, whatever, right? So I'm just saying that we need to make sure that we get it moving in the next 6 months. Like this time next year, we should be breaking ground in the summertime. Because we're at a place now where the city needs to get moving. We're talking new apartments. We're talking new profit generator. It's already at a park, so you're not losing any revenue. But around there, you can build up those businesses. There's a couple of churches, a couple of nonprofits. I think it will work great. But that's just me. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Should we rebuild the domes? I only know of one, maybe two families that are really into horticulture. It's one of the classes I took in high school. And then when I was in college, I worked at the then called the Floral Order Relay Center in Chicago. We actually, like when you would, because we didn't have the internet back then. No. They had it. We didn't have it. So what you would do is you would have this terminal in your florist shop. And when you needed to send flowers, like, I'm going to send some flowers to Rhea. It's her birthday, right? She's turning 2 years old. Rhea Jr. And I want to send her some flowers, but I live in Minnesota and Rhea lives in Hurtsboro, Alabama. So how do I do that? Do I call up and say, hey, can you send these to so-and-so who can give them to 2-year-old, right? You can't do that. So what they would do is you would call your local florist and say, I need some flowers sent to Hurtsboro, Alabama. They would find a florist, go on a machine, put in the code, put in your order, and hit send, get the money, pay them a cut. They get a cut just for making the order, right, for using the machine. And then they were straight. The problem was the person that made the call to the other florist was us. Now, you would think, right? You would think that if somebody sat there and called in an order and you took the order, you relaying all these things to the new place, that the machine would then talk to the machine. But I guess that technology wasn't there yet. And so we were actually making phone calls to florists, which is why it was a floral order relay center, where all we did is relay what the thing was. I had to learn so many plants and understand the difference between a hyacinth and a hydrangea. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I'm cutting in on my show. You need to come up in here. You need to come on in, dude. Tori Lowe from the Tori Lowe Show. Come on in. You can sit right there in front of that camera right there. Yeah, buddy. Put some headphones on, Tori Lowe. Nope, that's me. But then again, you know how you be sliding stuff around. Man, dude, okay. Around 2:00 today, your show was fire, dude. Retirement, right. That has been a bone of contention for me of how easy people can just save 10% of whatever they make and live if you made $25,000, $30,000 a year, you could be a millionaire at 65. And we just don't.
And I think that when we just don't think about it because we assume
that the government going to take care of us.
Like we assume that we're just going to get to the latter years and it's just going to work out.
My family going to take care of me. And then you ain't got no family. Man, you brought that up and I was like, wow.
I had one talk to Texas said that they was going to wait till Joshua come back.
Wow.
That was their retirement plan.
Wow. And if you die before that? Okay. It was, man. When I heard that, I was like, wow, how many people have not heard that? But we don't teach it in schools. We don't teach it to kids.
Well, I'll say this. I deal with a lot of different ideas in the community. So when I get to my senior citizens and they have issues,
right?
And then sometimes it's so aggressive to where they can't relax,
right?
And they got to continue.
That
to work.
was wild.
Right.
That was wild. 75. I have a friend of mine whose father's 75 years old and he's still working.
They got to keep working.
And they're not working because, hey, I love to work. I'm going to go to the hospital and be a volunteer. They work because they have an apartment because they can't afford anything. They lost their house and now they're stuck and their kids have passed away or moved away. They don't have money for a home. It's amazing.
It's just one of those things that we should have the discussion. We got to expose our community to ideas that can be helpful, and many times we got a lot of, different topics we discuss. We got 365 days on the air.
Yep.
And one of those discussions should be preparation for the latter years.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's something you and I need to do, have a summit or something.
Right.
Some kind of show. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man.
I
man, that show today was dude.
Get that information out there.
Man, I was like, that's it. That's it.
Well, thank you, Dr. King. I appreciate coming on your show.
Yep. Always. Anytime.
Hey.
All right. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Traffic, sports, and weather up next.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level. They came in ahead of time, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window.
It's Dr. Ken from 1017 The Truth for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Truth Nation, listen up. It's Kyle Olmstead here with CEO Insurance Services. You may have received a letter in the mail stating you need to renew Badger Care or Medicaid post-pandemic. Please review and renew. It is so important to be enrolled in a healthcare plan, and I'm here to make it easy for you if you no longer qualify for Badger Care or Medicaid. I provide a free service to those in need of individual health plans to ensure that you still have access to health insurance. I can also provide services to those who are nearing or over 65 years old. Please call me at 262-393-1012. That's 262-393-1012.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Meals from those years are hard to forget. It was all white bread and whole milk, hamburger casseroles and quiche Lorraines, all with a side of cigarettes. We ate salads as desserts. We knew a party was classy if it had a cheese log. And we never missed an after-dinner smoke. It didn't matter if we were in our dining rooms, a burger joint, or the ritziest of restaurants. There'd be an ashtray on every table, and that very particular flavor in every meal. We smoked for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's amazing that our food could taste like anything else. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
Earlier accident on northbound 43 at Locust has been cleared out of the way. Things are going to slowly but surely get better. Still going to be a bit heavy, though, from downtown to Brown Deer Road up to a 29-minute ride. Southbound side's at 23. We got northbound on 41 slowing down back from before Greenfield all the way up to Mayfair Road through the zoo. And then southbound 41 slowing down from Appleton Avenue down to about Mayfair Road as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 54 at the lakefront, 45 inland. Then tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Josh Donaldson homered for the first time with the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta turned in another excellent outing as Milwaukee beat Miami by a final score of 3-1 on Tuesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to Colorado, the Brewers increased their lead in the NL Central to 4 games. Brewers-Marlins Game 3 of 4 tonight. Coverage getting underway at 6 p.m. over on WTMJ. The Green Bay Packers will be back to work later today in preparation for a Week 2 matchup against the Falcons after beating the Chicago Bears to open their season. Aaron Jones, who left the game in the third quarter Sunday with a hamstring injury, was labeled day-to-day following the game. Head coach Matt LaFleur, speaking to the media earlier this week, says they're still evaluating number 33. Brewers president of baseball operations David Stearns has agreed to a 5-year deal, and he will be hired by the New York Mets once this 2023 season comes to an end. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yo, this is Queen Latifah, bringing a song to you.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, sometime today, one of y'all going to be singing this song, but you're going to have to add words. It might be For the Love of Money because you're going to be entered in to win. So you might want to keep listening right here. And for the person that told me on listening on the app or the internet with the delay, I'm going to make it a caller that's in double digits. That way, you have time to hear it and then call in. Cool? Is that cool? All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. Kathy, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Hello, Kathy. Kathy going once. Kathy going twice. And goodbye. I guess she'll call back if she wants to talk. She must. Did she fall asleep? I don't know. Might have fell asleep. No. But she was going to talk about the domes and paying to fix the domes and replacing them. Or I still think we need to just spend the money because we're talking about something that can be a draw. Horticulture contests, teaching kids in high school how to go into working with flowers and plants. I think it would be great. Had I stuck to it, that was one of the classes I had. So I went to Chicago Vocational at the time because it was a vocational school. You had to go to every 10 weeks, you went to a different shop, right? And so I had auto shop, wood shop, electronics, printing. That was 1 year. And then the second year, you did 2, right? So you did 4 in your freshman year, and then one semester, and then the others. So you did 20 weeks in one and 20 weeks in the other. Well, and usually those 2 are you're trying to choose between what to major in. And so those are the 4 I did: auto mechanics, wood shop, electronics, and printing. So I was pretty good at the electronics because I liked the math and the equations and all that. But I was more so into physics. And then auto shop was okay, but fixing brakes and stuff like that. I got adept at fixing brakes. And then from there, wood shop, I wasn't going to be a carpenter. I really sucked at being a carpenter for wood. And then I did print shop, which I liked. But the next go round, I did the 2 different draftings: mechanical drafting and architectural drafting. And I ended up majoring in architectural drafting. And that was pretty good. I won some honorable mentions at the Museum of Science and Industry citywide contest, stuff like that. Went to college for it and then didn't like it. Then transferred over to mass communication and haven't stopped talking since. 833-212-1017 is the number. We're going to try Kathy again. Are you there, Kathy?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. I like your idea, Ken, that's to do a good education program for children. But, we got so many wealthy people out here that if we had our share, I'm just guessing, a run every year, a race to the domes, or like you said, some kind of community race to the domes, they could do a run for that. You got wealthy people who open up the Pfizer Forum, put their name on there. You got the Herb Kohls of the world. Maybe they could come out, they just got money sitting there.
But wait.
Got money.
But the wealthy people that put their money into they put their money into the Bucks, not the Fiserv.
Right.
So the Fiserv is paid for with, I believe, private and public dollars, but that's a business expense. That wasn't a donation.
Right.
And
okay,
I think the domes are worthy of a business expense so that they can be self-sustaining. I totally agree with you.
Right. No, and there's some people out here, there's organizations.
No, we got to stop thinking like that. We got to stop thinking about getting everything for free.
Well, we can pay for it, too. I said we can do a run, walk, whatever we want to do with that. There's other things you can do to get money in there, like I said, an education place. But the city act like they don't have any money, but they're still taking that museum and moving that somewhere else also.
Oh, of course.
That's going to cost billions of dollars. But you can leave that building. Do not tear that building down. They can find some maintenance work to get done. But what I can't figure out, why everything got to cost $1 billion?
Because of inflation. Because of inflation. Inflation is real.
I know, and then you got the new hotel. You got another hotel apartment building coming by me with a Renaissance. Those are millions of dollars. And I even spoke with them about you're going to put an apartment building up. How can you get a lot and put a free affordable parking up there for people in those east side area? But like I said, the domes could be an educational tool. And I know the taxpayers said we need it for other things. We need to hire sheriffs. We need to pay them more money. That's all good too. But we have to have something for the people who pay taxes every day, who want to enjoy some other things when they get off work besides crime. So there's money that can be spent. And like you said, downtown, the mayor and them, they're going to do what they was trained to do before the other mayor left, the same old status quo.
Yep.
Nothing. Now, you know that yourself, okay?
Yeah, buddy.
So the same thing. I'm not giving nobody a chance. All they're doing now is having fundraisers for themselves, okay? And anybody can
you got that email too. So you got that email too.
Everybody's nice.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes, I did. Everybody's nice. Chevy's nice. So-and-so's nice. But at the end of the day, a nice man, that's great. But let's just keep looking around, okay? Because we'll find another nice one. Like you said, you can't sit there 6 years. And that first 2 years, he made a big difference in a lot of stuff. But he was trained to do things only one way.
Yep.
So a lot of stuff is just going to sit. You know that.
Yep. And then he'll get 4 years, and he will not have done anything else. And then he'll blame Robin Voss. He'll blame Republicans. He'll blame everything except him not doing it and not having a plan. Yep.
And they could have waited on raising our taxes. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They could have waited. They had the end of 2025 to do
another year would have been fine.
Right away.
Yep.
Right. They didn't want to negotiate nothing because in another year, we don't know what Madison could have looked like. We could have got something.
He needed a win.
They bullied him.
He needed to say he wanted
Right.
something so he can get reelected.
Well, they ain't going to get you reelected, raise my taxes. And I know you had a year and a half to go because you could have waited on that. Now they're going to take it around and then start charging us a higher fee in January. They could have started next year doing that.
Yep.
Now the county is following suit. Okay, that's not going to work. And what's going on with re-energy? Why they taxing us twice? We're going to get another increase in January.
Yep.
Come on.
And here's the kicker. You get an increase on the fee so you can pay more in taxes, and you're still it doesn't make any sense at all. I get the fact that we needed it, but did we need it this fast? Because now I do understand that we need money in the hopper to pay for 2025. I get that. Right. But at some point they
didn't take that long to negotiate. They did it like in a couple of weeks here. I mean, that's just pushing something down somebody's throat.
And they got punked.
Them push you around.
They got punked.
They sure did because Rawson worked with them. They work with Rawson. All these programs to get this money. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got to put the police back in. You got to put this in. You got to do that. Oh, I'm sorry. It ain't happening that way. We're not going to do that.
All right. Thank you much, Kathy. Appreciate you. And you made some excellent points. 833-212-1017 is the number. I agree with Kathy wholeheartedly. If we're going to fix the dorms, we're going to see what the county's going to do. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't the county just get a tax increase? They just got a tax increase. So if you just got a tax increase, you can pay for it. I'm just saying. It's nowhere near enough to pay for it. It's nowhere near enough to pay for it. It's not. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Yeah, hi.
Where you been?
I'm listening.
I didn't ask you that. I said, where you been? I ain't talked to you since last week.
Well, actually, last week.
I mean, you don't have to give me any personal information, but I'm just saying.
Well, I was out.
Okay.
I was out and about,
You can listen on the app. You can listen on your phone.
I did. That's how I was listening.
You didn't let us know you were okay.
Look, I'm trying to survive out here in this beautiful world.
Right.
I was at the park. Yeah, I was at the park walking my little doggy and having me a little beer.
Oh, in the park?
Oh. Well, yeah. You can have you can the little beer garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can have a little beer and then a little blackwurst and all that good. Well, it's not a lot that they have, but it's enough to just sit down and have a little bit and watch the old people relax that's retired. And sometimes they have a little band going and playing little polka music and stuff. So I can do the polka.
Okay. What do you think about the domes?
I thought I could. Oh, you know what? I was just going to say about the domes. Now, this has been, this didn't just start. It was way, they were talking about the domes way when Barrett was in office. So it just kind of, to me, it seemed like it kind of got dropped in Cavalier's lap. But, I mean, they've been talking about the domes a long time. How come they haven't fixed it by now?
Because nobody wants to spend the money?
Well, then that's the problem. They're trying to say ain't no money for the city here. We're so poor and so broke, and ain't no money, but it's money to do what they want to do with it, get raises and all of that. But, no, that's what I really want to say. And then I just hate that he's taking the bulk of the pressure when that stuff was, look, I can go back, I don't know exactly what year they started hyping on it and started to shut it down and stuff. But it's just kind of bad. And, I just want to ask you another thing is something like, you were saying something like, why do we have to always ask, why we can't do it ourselves and stuff like that?
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a park, and so if people want to donate, that's fine. But I don't want to be beholden that every single time we want to do something, we got to go big into corporations. We need something in place, apartments, a store, a theater, something in that area, in that park, where we're able to be self-sufficient and run and pay for the maintenance for the park. Maintenance for the domes.
Yeah.
Just like the Calatrava. You have a museum, I think it's run by the county, but you have to pay to get in. You have to pay to have an event. You know what I mean? Same way you do with the War Memorial. Same process. So if we can get those built and they can become self-sufficient, and I know the county kicks in a bit for maintenance and stuff. I think if you create, like you have now, Friends of the Dome and memberships to the Dome and kids and schools and universities and consortiums with it and courses and classes, I think it would run just fine. But we have to initially pay for it. And we always keep screaming, poor, 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 poor.
Is that the city?
The city and the county. The city and the county. The state, too.
Oh, the city and the county.
$8 billion surplus. Okay. How many $1 billion surplus and we're poor? I don't know.
No, I was reading a book on poverty. It's called Poverty by America. And that's the words they use, and say they're not really poor. Right. So all the states and stuff have big surpluses, and say the money is not even directed to exactly where it's supposed to go. You know, so it's real interesting. And I'm sitting up here saying, and it's a documentary. Well, it's like a documentary out there, too. That's where I got it from on the internet. But so it's a lot go into this. So that's why I asked, because it seemed like, you know, sometimes when it's spoken, it's that we don't want to work and we want the government to take care of us. And that's not true.
Yep. Very true.
Yeah,
all right.
I worked. All right. Okay, then. I'll talk to you again. I'm still here.
All right. Thank you for calling. Appreciate you.
Okay, then. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all is right. Believe it or not. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Where's my sheet? All right. Now's your chance to win, to be entered into our One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. Your chance to win $5,000. 833-212-1017 is the number. Be caller number 10. Caller number 10 right now to be entered into the One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. Remember, if your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all. Be caller number 10 for your chance to be entered in to win this money from the One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. 833-212-1017.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
Know yourself.
Yeah, he says know thyself. But yeah, tomato, tomato. It's giving potato, potato.
Yeah.
But I like that you said that.
Nelly Furtado.
Did you say Nelly Furtado? All right. I'm going to move past that.
Tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato. Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, my life.
Okay, I did kind of like that. I'm done.
Go ahead, Mel.
I know, Ben.
My
stop.
bad.
It's okay.
Listen to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth. Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in this Friday night as the Hilltoppers hit the road to take on the Menominee Falls Phoenix. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Truth Nation, are you ready to become the best business leader you know you can be? Forever Media, a Black-owned leading media company, proudly presents Lead the Movement Business Conference. This premier event, hosted on September 29th, 2023 at the iconic Henry Meyer Festival Park, aims to equip attendees with the tools and knowledge to lead effectively, innovate talent acquisition, elevate their brand, and champion diversity and inclusivity. So it's time to level up. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit ltmconference.com.
You want a challenge? Come and get the keys from Keys Ultimate Gaming. Experience a gaming experience like none other. Equipped with PS5s and Xbox consoles. Play any game from Roblox to Call of Duty. Come experience this futuristic arcade on wheels today. With friends, family, or catch them at your local events. Contact KeysGaming.com for booking. Keys Ultimate Gaming, where they bring gaming to you.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Black Conscience, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Find yourself in good health to you, Doc.
What up?
I say blow them up.
Why?
Because that is a problem that has persisting for a long time, and preventive maintenance could have prevented you from an $60-some million repair. With that being said, all programs in the inner city, you can't find findings for that, and our children have went without. They can go without this as well. That money could be distributed elsewhere.
No, this is a county issue. This is not a city issue. It's a county issue.
But yet and still, us taxpayers will feel the burden of that.
Homeowners, sure.
And I'm done with that. I mean, you know.
But that's why I said get bonds. Issue bonds and let people buy that want to buy in. Come on, man. How you going to have a world-class city with nothing world-class?
That's all right. Who said we're world-class?
Oh, man.
World-class haters? Because we can't even get along to make a decision what's best for our children. The future.
Oh, come on, man. People, that's what everybody falls back on, the children. Come on.
Well, that's all it is, because you and I and a lot of your listeners are at that point right now where we've done all we can do, and we're leaving this world to the children who are pretty much not going to have anything with climate change and all the rest.
Not true.
Well, you know what?
I disagree.
That's up for argument.
Yes, it is. And I know you're going to call back and we're going to argue again, right?
No, we're not arguing. We're just having a...
If I call it an argument, it's an argument. You don't get to tell me what it is. I'm arguing.
Well, just because you're in control of the mic don't mean you're necessarily correct. But I'm
speaking my truth. You speak your truth.
There you go. On the truth.
On the truth.
Winning show.
Well, you got to say it right. On the truth.
Yeah, on the right. I believe we shouldn't. I believe we shouldn't waste time with that because there's going to be something else.
Yeah.
And the way these brutal winters is coming, I mean, who cares about some flowers during the winter anytime? You can see them during the summer.
I think if you get paid by a flower shop, you might have a different point of view.
Well, but I ain't into that.
All right. Thank you much.
Live righteous, Milwaukee.
All right, brother. I'm going to see if I can squeeze Juanita in. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Am I caller 10?
No, you're not.
Be caller 10.
No, you're not caller 10.
Wow.
Well, you called to talk about the domes. Now you want to be calling 10. Now you only got 30 seconds to talk. You want to just hold on and come back? Yes.
I was calling for both.
You can't call for both because I didn't say it before. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I was talking about the dome. We talked about the dome since I didn't win no money. Why would our property taxes go up? You know, people are already complaining about rent being so high. You know, then that's another reason to raise the rent up on people.
Well,
people are struggling now.
I got about 10 seconds. You want
that surplus?
I got about 10 seconds. You want to hold on? You want to hold on and talk to me after the commercials, or you want to? Okay, hang on a sec.
Yes.
All right. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Calling all Black-owned business and entrepreneurs. The award-winning 1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black Business Give Back. Go to blackbusinessgiveback.com for your chance to sign up to receive 3 months of free advertising on The Truth, valued at $6,000. It is that easy. Grow your business today by signing up for our Black-owned business Give Back. For official contest rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Member FDIC.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I guess we're going to have to wait to get to I thought she was going to hold on. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. What's going on?
Good evening, everybody. When I think about the domes, on one hand, we know agriculture is a big thing, and it's not really too many of us that's, in that line of work. But when I think about it, on the other hand, if some of our own people do take it up, and considering some of our youth are so bright and so intelligent, maybe they may find out something like, medicine from flowers. Maybe we would have another Dr. Sebi. Hopefully this one won't be murdered, allegedly. But I think this would be a good opportunity that can turn into something else. I mean, because I know when it comes to certain lifestyles and certain education, we are already, have some type of barrier put up. So I wouldn't have a problem with them, putting it on my taxes if I know it can benefit the youth. I mean, because we do need to be in every aspect to take over the world, especially when it comes to like horticulture.
Is it okay to include all generations in it? Do we have to just keep saying youth? Because that creates a culture. Hang on. That creates a culture of us dismissing older people. And I see it every day. I've been victim of it every day. And I mean, I have the personality to stand up to it, but a lot of people don't.
Well, I think to be honest, that's fine, because my stepmother is in her 60s and she loves agriculture. And she's a perfect witness of it, and she's always trying to educate herself. But for the upcoming youth, considering they are the future, it would be a great opportunity for them to go into that, because the young mind is so powerful.
Yes,
and they have a different outlook on life than what we don't have, and they also have an outlook on life where they can tap into other energies that we have yet to touch. So I just leave it at that. But I think that would be a great opportunity.
All right. I appreciate it, brother.
All right.
833-212-1017 is the number.
Number 5.
Well, I thought I'd never see it, and I've literally only actually seen it maybe one other time in my life. But if you were looking out, your eyes were not deceiving you if you saw what it looked like, a tornado rolling across Lake Michigan. It's called a waterspout. This is from jsonline.com. The National Weather Service and the International Center for Waterspout Research says they're in the forecast off our shore today and likely to persist until the end of today. So the presence of a waterspout, which is a vortex of water created by changes in wind temperatures, has the National Weather Service warning boaters and other lake goers to steer clear of them, since they can be pretty dangerous. So what actually is a water spout? Like, I don't understand, what are they? Well, according to Taylor Patterson, National Weather Service meteorologist, water spouts are created when fast-moving pressure systems push across bodies of water. For Lake Michigan, in particular, a water spout usually forms when cooler air runs across the surface and upward. And they said, we're just in the perfect spot to see a water spout today because the offshore low-pressure system is causing air to move together and upward into what's called a low-level convergence. And so how dangerous are they? Well, if you want to get caught in a tornado on water and it's like running into something at a 90-degree angle, it would, I think it would hurt to get sucked up and spun around and shot out and hit the water at about, 40, 50 miles an hour. I don't know. Me? Well, I got the easy way out. I'm just staying on dry land.
Number 4.
Well, Milwaukee County and Milwaukee police and elected officials, county housing employees, are set to hold a meeting this week to discuss the issue of homelessness. And I don't know if you've been there. And, I've been thinking about it, and I looked and I saw and I was driving, and I always thought, wow, that's a lot of cars in the parking ride. Just off, on and off, driving I-94 and 43. I kind of look, and it's an off-ramp, and it's the parking ride. And I always thought, wow, that's a lot of cars. That's pretty good. They say not a lot of people are riding buses. And some of the buses go near the parking ride so you can get a ride downtown and go to work. And, I was wrong. Just a stone's throw away from the exit ramp at I-94-43. That's where Heidi Langer calls home. And Langer is one of a handful of people who live at the Holt Avenue park and ride lot. They're homeless. They have nowhere to go. It's hard to find a job. And it's not to say Langer hasn't tried. This is from Fox6Now.com. But with no home and no transportation, it's hard to get a job. So now she hopes the county's homeless housing program comes through. But it's something that she said that struck me about this. She said, Langer does not want to be around much longer. And she replied, no, definitely not another winter. I can't imagine being homeless when it's warm outside. Sleeping outside all the time. Being afraid someone's going to rob you. But you've got the College Avenue park and ride too. I mean, this is becoming a major, major problem. I stopped in one of the rest areas on my way back from Indiana. And it was at night, and I thought, I mean, you can tell when a car is actually there and they're resting. They might leave the engine running and a light on, but these cars were cut off, and they had bedspreads across all the windows. And you know how you like turn it in and then roll up the window so it's hanging out? And that's what they were doing because they were blocking all of the light. And I thought, those are homeless people who have a car to live in, and that's it. And so I'm happy to hear the county has a housing administrator and they're trying to do it. But of course, when Fox 6 Now tried to contact the housing administrator, messages were left to Supervisor Carolyn Gomez-Tom, whose district includes the Holt Avenue park and ride. So it sounds like the county is really trying to do something. And so the Milwaukee Police Department, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, Milwaukee County Homeless Outreach, city and county elected officials are going to be holding a meeting this Friday, 5:00 p.m. at the Water Tower Meeting Room, 4001 South 6th Street in Milwaukee. If you have something on your mind related to the homeless, make sure that you are there.
Number 3.
From CBS 58, amongst impeachment calls by Republicans who believe the newest member of the state Supreme Court cannot be impartial, Assembly Republicans propose the state move to a nonpartisan redistricting model, can't say that, to draw new electoral maps. Within minutes of introducing the plan, Governor Tony Evers shot it down, calling it bogus and last-ditch effort by Republicans to retain control, having someone legislator picked and legislature approved to draw Wisconsin maps. The bill unveiled yesterday would create an alternative to enacting new maps instead of a costly legal battle before the state Supreme Court. Under the proposal, nonpartisan staff would draw new maps by adopting an Iowa partisan redistricting process. And after years of opposition to the idea, Robin Vos is now supportive of it. So we have to come up with something. If you're conservative or liberal, you have to admit Protasewicz already told you that she is not going to be the type of jurist that needs to be on a Supreme Court. To move as close to the middle as possible, to be impartial, to keep your biases at bay and follow the rule of law. She told you before you elected her, before she was elected, I'm not going to make any assumptions, that she was not going to follow that. She was going to do everything in her power to be pro-abortion. She was going to do everything in her power for women's rights. So she told you ahead of time all the things that she was going to vote for and vote against. That's not what judges are supposed to do. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal. That is not what a judge's job is to do. You don't put a judge in because they support what you support. Subconsciously, that's what we do. But when a judge tells you that, if you put me in, I'm going to vote for abortion, that's a problem. Or whatever thing, the fact that they told you, I'm going to vote for redistricting for this district. The fact that you're saying something and you haven't looked at any of the information, haven't looked at any brief, you haven't looked at any evidence from either side, you go in deciding how you're going to vote, you should not be in the Supreme Court, municipal court, or any court. And that's unfortunate. It's downright terrible. And I've known her for 20, 30 years. Was a great judge here in Milwaukee County. But now I don't know what happened. The fact that you would run for the highest court in the state and not be impartial and follow the rule of law. I think people wasted their time voting for you.
Number 2.
This is from USA Today. Danilo Cavalcanti has finally been captured. You might say, well, who is that? Well, he's the murderer who broke out of a Pennsylvania prison 2 weeks ago, concluding an exhaustive manhunt that bore down on rural areas across the state, closed schools, and jangled the nerves of a lot of people. He was apprehended around 8 a.m. this morning after his heat signal was detected hours earlier by a plane using thermal imaging west of Pennsylvania, Route 100, north of Prisoner Road. Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens said in a news conference, and the plane zeroed in on the location after a burglar alarm alerted authorities to his presence shortly after midnight, where he stole a gun and ran. One of the neighbors shot at him, and so they checked the area and stayed on the area. Cavalcante, 34, tried to escape, crawling through thick underbrush with a rifle he had stolen from a homeowner with a scope on it, .22 caliber rifle. Of course, they sent in a search dog, and the search dog subdued him. So what does it mean when a search dog subdues you? Right? That means the dog clamps a hold of one of your extremities and doesn't let go till they tell him to let go. So he's back in custody, clearly to say, I don't think he's going to be getting anywhere near a door or a window. And they're going to keep his hands and his feet shackled in bare feet. Terrible. Don't look up his record. It will sadden you. But this, I don't know if I should call him man, because I don't think that would be an insult to men around the world. Deserves to be under the jail, to disappear and never reappear again.
Number 1.
From Fox6Now.com, a Milwaukee Rufus King high school tennis coach was carjacked as he got off a bus with students on this past Friday night, September 8th. Marshall Martin, 34, is charged with armed carjacking, fleeing and eluding, and resisting an officer. Prosecutors say he led the police on a chase after carjacking the coach at knife point. According to the criminal complaint, the coach said he was walking to his car around 8:30 when Martin approached him with a large black knife in his left hand, holding to the victim's neck, demanding the coach's wallet. Prosecutors say he then drove off in the coach's car, and about 20 minutes later, Milwaukee police spotted the stolen car near 27th and Capitol, attempted a traffic stop. Martin sped away and led officers on a 1.6-mile chase. When he was arrested, the complainant says police found the knife on the front passenger seat of the stolen car. And prosecutors say Martin admitted they ordered the coach to give me the vehicle when pointing the knife at the coach, but he denied holding the knife to the victim's neck. He also admitted to leading the police on the chase. And according to prosecutors, he said, I tried my best to make it appear menacing and to be as menacing as I could be. Martin made his initial court appearance yesterday. Cash bond was set at $20,000. Was that enough? I hope so. So what did he do? Watch and wait until the kids left and then jack them? I mean, what would you do if somebody carjacked you? Would you just give them the car? Would you just, hey, here you go. If you're going to kill me, I'm going to just give you what you want, because I can't think of anything in my life other than another person that would be worth dying for. Car, clothes, ring. Oh, sentimental. I'll get another one. Another car, another house, more money, more jewelry. Now, that don't mean you should be walking up to me just telling me you're going to rob me and I'll give you everything, because that's probably not going to happen. But just the fact that someone thinks that what's yours is theirs, is totally unconscionable to me. And at some point, we need to, step up. But I'm glad they caught him. I'm glad that the coach is safe. And once again, it proves we need people to step up and stand up to make this city safe.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I don't want to say the flu is preventable, but we can make it less severe and spend less time in the hospital. As an underinsured group that's on intimate terms with death, that we don't exercise, we don't eat healthy. Now, of course, this isn't everybody, but it still impacts us more than anybody else. And so I can talk about racism. I think that we have some choices that we can make that we know can improve our outcomes, but we still seem to be so incredibly defiant.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Melanie Ricks with her truth.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. A thought that I have on my mind today: you have to put out the energy that you want to receive in return. I've noticed recently that I tend to have expectations for others that I don't also have for myself. For example, if I text my friend, I expect them to respond instantly. But if somebody texts me, I'll take my time and respond whenever I'm good and ready to. So why is it that I feel as if others have to get back to me right away if I'm not willing to get back to them? That's just one minor example. But when it comes to work, let's say you're feeling dissatisfied with your job performance, or maybe with the atmosphere, what's going on with work. Perhaps so you're hoping for a promotion of some sort and things just aren't going the way that you want. Okay, So what are you doing to fix that? What are you doing to work your way towards a better work situation? What is the energy that you are putting toward your job, toward your coworkers? Even when it comes to family dynamics and other relationships, or perhaps encounters with strangers. What is the energy that you are giving to the people around you? And what is the energy that you expect in return? I sincerely believe in the law of attraction, and I very much do feel that what you put out is what you will receive. So if you are someone who feels as if you are not getting the best out of things in life, perhaps it's because you are not putting your best foot forward and you are not putting the best energy that you can toward those things. The law of attraction is real, y'all. I'm telling you.
Listen to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 p.m.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we count on the support of community partners. One of those local partners is Associated Bank. Together, we are committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee home and promise to be a positive reflection on the community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank, member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number for the talk and text line. I want to say congratulations to Candace. She is the qualifier for the One Call That's All 5K giveaway that's coming in the end of September. Yeah, end of September. That's the end of the quarter. September. You know, October, November, December. Yeah, so the end of the quarter is September. And I don't know who's going to be giving it away. I don't know. I think the morning show is going to give it away. Somebody giving it away because it'll be September 29th. So, let me see. I could come up with a name. Romeo Bandero. Yeah, that'll be the name I'll call in. Say, hey, my name is Romeo, and I'm calling number I won. But then I got to show up, right? And send me then I got to get a social security number, and that's not going to work out. Got to tell the truth. So, I mean, keep listening. Every day, one of these shows is going to tell you on the air that you can call in and qualify. End of October. That wouldn't be the end of the quarter, though. We wouldn't. I don't know. So we're doing August, September, October. So it's going to be the end of October. And it's not okay. All right. I just do as I'm told. I've been told. End of October. That'll just give me more time to make up a name and a fake social security number. Okay. All right. All that for $5,000 so the tax man can take some money? I don't think so. The Truth is home to Marquette University High School football. The Hilltoppers are on a roll, looking to make it 4 wins in a row as they take on conference foe Menominee Falls Phoenix. Kickoff is at 7 this Friday night, the 15th of September. Pregame at 6:30. Tory Lowe at 6 o'clock. I end at 6 o'clock. There's a great afternoon you don't want to miss. High school sports on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Derek said, you are blanking, making a good point about judges needing to be impartial. It makes me think that judges should not be elected officials. They should be appointed. See, I'm okay with judges being elected. If they're appointed, it'll definitely be partisan, just like the U.S. Supreme Court. And we scream and complain when the people that we agree with don't get in. And then it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. At least the people get to vote for their judge. That I like. But I feel what you're saying, Avery. Derek said, Dr. Ken, will you fight for anything? What if you will? I don't understand what that means. And then Craig said, Dr. Ken, when's the next opportunity to qualify on whose show do I listen to for next? That's not the point, Craig. The whole point is for you to actually listen, and you just might be listening to the show that plays the ding, one call, that's all, right? That's pretty good. Right? And then you'll know, and then you'll win. So just listen from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's all you got to do. I don't know why that's a problem. You ain't got nothing to do. Right? You don't do anything. You just sit around and listen to the radio all day long. It's the greatest thing in the world. Get harassed by me, Tori Lowe, Sherwin, Mel, DT. Come on. Just come on. Avery said the curse word was a total accident somehow. Sorry. Well, I mean, if you typed it and it came through, or you voiced it, I don't. And y'all know phones, I'm trying to think. Does your phone have an edit feature so that when you text and you send it, after you send it, you can press it and edit it? Yeah. So I don't. Maybe. Maybe not.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend, September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers. And a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Eastbound on 94, backing up out of the Zoo Interchange all the way through to about 35th Street. And the westbound side slowing out of the Marquette through the stadium. Northbound on 43, backing up out of the Marquette all the way up to about Keefe. Southbound side slow from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. Southbound on 41 also going to be a bit heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down to about Mayfair Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 54 at the lake, 45 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 71 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Josh Donaldson homered for the first time with the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta turned in another excellent outing as Milwaukee beat Miami by a final score of 3-1 on Tuesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to Colorado, the Brewers increased their lead in the NL Central to 4 games. Brewers-Marlins Game 3 of 4 tonight. Coverage getting underway at 6 p.m. over on WTMJ. The Green Bay Packers will be back to work later today in preparation for a Week 2 matchup against the Falcons after beating the Chicago Bears to open their season. Aaron Jones, who left the game in the third quarter Sunday with a hamstring injury, was labeled day-to-day following the game. Head coach Matt LaFleur, speaking to the media earlier this week, says they're still evaluating number 33. Brewers president of baseball operations David Stearns has agreed to a 5-year deal, and he will be hired by the New York Mets once this 2023 season comes to an end. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Girl, words can't express the way I feel for you. The way you hold me, the way you touch me. Girl, everything you do to me, you know I like it. Don't stop now.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, this is the time to replace your drafty old windows. It's starting to get cold outside. You probably shouldn't do it during the dead of winter, because right now, the way we can feel it, tomorrow's probably like 54 degrees overnight. Yeah. But Pella has a great deal going on. Pay as low as $19 a month per window, $75 a month for patio doors. Installation is completed with no mess, no fuss, leaving nothing but perfect results. Visit PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. Remember, 6.99% APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 9/30 of 2023. That's PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017 is the number. Talking text line says, tuned in last. Are you truth-telling today, or are you talking about politics again? LOL. No, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the fact that whenever it's time to step up and spend money on something that is going to last and be something that is helpful to, I mean, think about the fact that it's horticulture tied in, based on what you're planting, agriculture, and the ability for children to learn how to sustain fresh air by simply using plants, things of that nature. Might even open up a career for kids. So I don't know. That's just me. 833-212-1017 is the number. Came across a story on CNN today from Kokomo, Indiana. Normally, A new $2.5 billion factory complete with 1,400 jobs is, kind of expected and would be considered a good thing for a local economy, but not the battery plant in Kokomo, Indiana. Gary Quirk, president of the United Auto Workers, Local 685, said it's a spit in the face. That's because the plant will make large batteries for electric vehicles, and the plant is being built by a joint venture of Stellantis, an automaker which makes vehicles under the Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler brands, and Samsung. UAW Local 685 represents 4 factories that Stellantis already operates in the town, 3 that make transmissions, 1 makes engines. The concerns that Quirk and his fellow union members epitomize a larger struggle in the U.S. auto industry. So electric vehicles simply need less work to make. As auto workers move to electric startups, then many of the well-paid union jobs making engines and other parts could disappear. The struggle on that is on display in the Midwest right now as current UAW contract with the big 3 unionized automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, runs out Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Unions demanding job protections among its ambitious slate of bargaining goals. It says it's all ready to have its 145,000 members at the 3 companies go on strike as early as Friday, but it can't reach a deal. If it can't reach a deal with the companies, and another UAW local hall in town, one that represents workers at Stellantis casting plant, also in Kokomo, sits directly across the street from the new battery plant. That local was once home of Shawn Fain, now the president of UAW and the one leading negotiations with auto workers that could lead to a strike later this week. Denny Butler, vice president of Local 685, says, it's in our backyard. That's ironic. Well, the planned conversion to electrical vehicles will mean, honestly, it's going to be an upheaval. And people are going to lose their jobs. People that are working right now. And some of those people have been working for generations, and they're going to lose it. And so EVs need no gas engines or transmissions. So if you're making transmissions and engines, then it'll become actually obsolete. So Kokomo is an industrial island in a seat of green farm fields in north central Indiana, between Indianapolis and West Bend. The 4 Stellantis plants employ nearly 4,500 hourly workers, another 600 salaried, or better than 1 out of every 7 non-farm jobs in the city and the surrounding area. But now Stellantis, Ford, and GM are planning what? All electric cars in the future that will likely need fewer workers to build the same number of vehicles. And so Todd Dunsmore said, we know we're on borrowed time. He works for Stellantis for 7 years, and when asked how he feels about the electric vehicle transition, he said, I know it'll hurt Kokomo. But some other members are not as convinced that it's an existential threat to gas-powered cars and their jobs. Many believe the company will decide to have other work done at the Kokomo plants, even if it no longer needs transmissions and engines. Like what? Philip Klein has worked at one of the transmission plants for over 27 years. His dad worked there for 30 years. He doesn't believe there is a real demand out in the public for electric vehicles. And it's not. You know, we talk about we want electric vehicles by such and such, but you need to transition all those people working on cars to work on electricity, because we're not going to have enough plants to generate it, and we're going to have to start building them. The thing that worries me is that Biden is rushing this. There's a common fear, even among those who don't believe in EVs, that the auto industry will be forced to shift to EVs or electric vehicles, whether or not there's a demand for them by car buyers. I don't believe that people are ready for EVs. I know I'm not. I thought about it for a minute, but now I'm not. The politicians might be ready, but I don't believe people are, says Quark. It sounds pretty good on paper, but the infrastructure isn't set up to handle it. You can spend more time charging the car or trying to find a charger than you actually do on the road. Sales are only a fraction of vehicle sales, of current vehicle sales, and the automaker sees growing public demand for EVs and the need to comply with increasingly tougher environmental regulations around the world. Even with their doubts, Klein, Quirk, and Butler are actually nervous. It's interesting to me because there's not a lot of parts to make an electric car. Biggest thing is the battery. The people making the batteries will make out like a fat rat, because once you crash, you got to replace the whole thing. You can't repair a battery. But we're talking money that's not long term. This is not a long term issue. Eventually, they're going to lose their jobs. Eventually, they're going to be hurt, and they are going to have to retool themselves. And I don't know how you do that when you've been making gas engines and transmissions, and now you have a car that doesn't even need a transmission. You got to build battery plants, but it's not going to take as many people, and you have to be trained. So what are we doing? The time and the money that we're spending complaining, we could probably be spending training our union workers on how to work in battery plants. Now, I don't think it'll switch the way people think. We're not going to be there by 2035. We are not going to be there. That's 12 years. You're talking about getting rid of every single gas-powered car in America. People are not going to let that happen because those cars are too expensive. Insurance companies are going to gouge you for cars. And the only people that are going to make money are the people making batteries. Because the fiberglass around it is made whole, and all you got to do is put it together like an erector set. So conceivably, I could have you put together the battery and the harness I need to move the tires, and I'll buy the parts to put the car together myself. Then what? Windshield is whole, doors are whole. I don't really need somebody to put my car together. And that's unfortunate, but until we start to retool the auto industry and reframe some of these plants into something that's going to be able to keep these jobs, I think Kokomo is going to turn equivalent to the dust in the deserts of Arizona.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Hey, good morning. Y'all should change this station to the Butt Naked Truth. That was the Butt Naked Truth. Miss DT,
oh my God, love that.
I'm so scared of you. I mean, it's like, you sweet, but when somebody rub you the wrong way, you better look out.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rest with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
Are you a mom, grandparent, caretaker, or pregnant and postpartum woman who cares for a 5-year-old or younger? If yes, then you should be enrolled in WIC. WIC is a Women, Infants, and Children program and provides healthy foods, nutrition education, breastfeeding counseling, and support. Participation in WIC is associated with better nutrition for families, but also healthier births and lower infant mortality. Hunger Task Force is here to support eligible pregnant and postpartum women, grandparents, and caretakers who care for children. Learn more about WIC and how you can support nutritious foods for infants and children at www.hungertaskforce.org.
Truth Nation, are you ready to become the best business leader you know you can be? Forever Media, which is a black-owned leading media company, is proudly presenting their Lead the Movement Business Conference. This premier event, hosted on September 29th, 2023 at the iconic Henry Meyer Festival Park, aims to equip attendees with the tools and knowledge to lead effectively, innovate talent acquisition, elevate their brand, and champion diversity and inclusion. It's time to level up. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit LTMconference.com.
Girl, I know sometimes you feel tired and overworked, so it's time to pamper your inner queen at Queen's Palace Beauty and Wellness Studio. They're currently offering personalized and relaxing massages, facials, body polish, and now the Fatigue Feet Fix, which can be added on with any service and includes a foot soak, foot cleanse, foot scrub, foot massage, and a paraffin foot treatment, all while enjoying light refreshments and hors d'oeuvres of your choosing. So get your relaxation on. You know you deserve it. Book your appointment today at queenspalace.net.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, Black-owned business Give Back is back, and we've teamed up with Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed together. The home of Milwaukee Black Talk is giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses each quarter of 2023. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback, all one word, .com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC. Is yearning for your love. Yeah, that's my cut. I know that's a little old for y'all, but you know, it's real music. It doesn't every generation say that? In about 20 years, millennials going to be like, you don't know what you're listening to. This is real music. And then they're going to play trap. People are going to be like, what is the... Or they're going to play Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift. I swear they all sound alike. I don't understand what people freak out. Why do people freak out about Taylor Swift? Like, I don't understand what the... Like, does she do like a stage show like Beyonce? No. So then what are we doing? Terrible. And then she stole everything from Beyonce anyway, so I don't know what we're talking about. So I'm a little peeved with Apple, but I'm a little happy with Apple. Okay? I got this from CNN.com. Apple just killed the iPhone Lightning connector. Like all the new phones, you know, because they just came out with the Apple 15 yesterday. Hey, we got the Apple 15. Thank you. That's all I need is an Apple 15. Or 16. One of them. I think it only goes to 14 right now. So, well, That's because it's proprietary, right? It's only for Apple, and embracing a charging cable that's compatible with non-Apple products, and that's one less extra cord cluttering your nightstand. One less thing to forget when packing for a weekend getaway. But the move, hastened by European regulatory mandate passed last year, is a largely symbolic measure that kind of comes years after everybody else switched over to the USB-C, even computers. And it won't do much to shrink the mountains of e-waste piling up around the globe because, well, Marion Chertow, professor of industrial environmental management at Yale School of the Environment, said that I would classify the EU law and Apple as an evolution, not a revolution. So the European Commission passed the directive last year, citing two motivations. First, one, everyone agrees that it's super annoying to have so many cables laying around, and second, having a common charger across devices, whether they're made for Apple or Samsung or Garmin or whoever, significantly reduces electronic waste. But what are we going to do about all the phones we keep upgrading? Can we keep the phone and upgrade the software and still? Anyway, Apple initially pushed back, of course, partly because selling extra lightning cables made a lot of money, but the waste argument was misguided. That's what they said. And the promise of wireless charging would make the cables moot. So then they're going to have to do that with all their phones. Every single phone has to be able to be charged. And so when I upgraded my last phone, I upgraded the software to make it like an 8, but I didn't upgrade the body, so I couldn't charge it wirelessly. Well, now I can charge it wirelessly, and I can charge it with a, now, I guess, useless lightning cable. So there you go. So can I sell a lightning cable? Can I sell it? Or should I go out right now and buy a lightning cable, leave it in its original package, and in 20 years say, hey, I have a vintage, unopened lightning cable. How much you want to buy it for? And give it to a museum. I don't know. A few 100,000 tons of charging cables. 68 million tons of electronic waste generated every year, totaling about a few 100,000 tons. And a ton is already 2,000 pounds. A few 100,000 tons of electronic crap that can't break down, and nearly 80% of all e-waste generated around the globe is not properly treated. So whether the EU rule actually reduces waste is kind of beside the point. If we can push Apple and other manufacturers to just close the loop and use USB-C. Because I got both. I got the regular USB and the USB-C in all the computers I have. You know why? Because the mice we use, the mouse for your computer, still takes the regular USB. And they probably made like millions of these little things. So they still have to make laptops and regular computers with regular plain old USB. It's unfortunate, but what can we do? What can we do? Legalized hemp will provide opportunities for many people to learn to plant and harvest the next cash crop. The problem is they'll tax it to death, and only rich people who can buy it now are the ones that'll be able to buy it then. Mari said, what? Taylor Swift stole from Beyonce? I took my daughter to the Eras concert, and it was phenomenal. I'm sure. You a Swiftie, mama? That's unfortunate. Can Taylor Swift even dance? Have you even seen her dance? She just wins a lot of awards with boring music. I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. I want to say thank you. Thank you, Rhea. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Kyle. I'm thinking of everybody that I saw between the time I was here and the time I finished my show. Thank you, Kyle Wallace. God bless. Take care. I will see you in 22 hours. I'm out.